And so we're just waiting for Share to join, and he's with us right now. Probably he'll be joining in some time. So let us go ahead. So this particular session would be to share knowledge about the PM KUSUM scheme, the business scheme of Ministry and New Energy of India to go for solar irrigation in a big way. So what we have learned and what is the different processes Ministry is following, and the gadget is supporting in implementing that. So we will try to share this information. To start with that, I request Mr. Sachin, who is helping the IWMI and Ministry to develop the PM KUSUM portal. So that particular portal is being developed at central level and also at the state level to monitor different processes, like what the scheme to be implemented, what kind of different parameters to be captured, what kind of analysis you can do. So everything would be explained here. So welcome, Sachin.
Thank you, Prasun. Greetings to everyone. So, I'm Sachin from Krupa Automation Private Limited. We are consulting Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, for digitization of PM KUSUM scheme, or I would say implementation of solar energy data management platform for PM KUSUM scheme. So by now, I'm sure everyone is aware of PM KUSUM scheme. We have been hearing about PM KUSUM this morning, and Mala sir has also explained about this. So PM KUSUM scheme is a flagship program of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. The idea is to provide energy and water security to farmers, de-dieselize the farm sector, enhance the farmers' income, and reduce the pollution. So these are the key objectives with this ministry has come up with the scheme. The scheme has been extended till March 2026. The scheme has three components: component A, component B, component C, already explained in the morning session by Avala sir. This is one of the world's largest initiative to provide clean energy to roughly 35 lakh farmers, 3.5 million farmers. And thus we can very well establish that there is a need of a digital platform to manage and monitor such scale of a scheme. So what was the vision behind this development of this scheme? This scheme, the vision behind development of this solar energy data management platform is to develop a common platform for multiple types of solar systems of PM KUSUM. So as we know, PM KUSUM has a utility scale plants, we have a small grid scale plants, we have a standalone solar systems. So this would be a single platform to manage these different types of solar systems. This is also a single platform for managing multiple stakeholders. So we have Ministry of New and Renewable Energy as a stakeholder for implementation of the scheme. We have a state-wise implementing agency who are actually getting this work done on ground. We have the DISCOMs in terms of grid connection, grid connected solar plants. We have direct benefit transfer scheme, DBT scheme, that they are also the stakeholder. We have to give data to them. Then we have research institutes who has been studying this data and analyzing this data. So they are all different stakeholders. We have different processes in terms of beneficiary registration, scheme progress tracking, asset and lot management, live monitoring of the pumps, performance analysis of the pumps. So these are all different processes we have. And lastly, this is also a single platform to integrate different variety of systems. So we can capture the data from energy meters, we can capture the data from pump controllers, we can capture the data from inverters, and also string combiner boxes or say string inverters. So in a nutshell, this is a common platform to monitor the PM KUSUM scheme. So now, why this was required? What is the need? So basically, huge investment is coming up in terms of central financial assistance from Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So 30% contribution is there in terms of component B and component C. Then equivalent contribution is also added up from the state financial, in terms of state financial assistance, 30% or more. So some states are giving assistance to the tune of 60-65% over and above CF. So total subsidy can go as high as 95-96%. And there's a loan from financial institutions, private investors are there in terms of RESCO model. So there's a huge investment coming up, and yes, this would say this is being implemented through public funding. So this needs to be, there's a need for monitoring of this platform. Now, what digitization gonna provide? So we'll be able to derive the utilization of the subsidized system. These are all highly subsidized, as you know. Then quality of supply. So multiple paneled agencies, multiple manufacturers are there who are gonna supply their material in the scheme. So we have to ensure the quality of supply and services. So this platform is gonna help in monitoring the quality of supply. Then performance of the systems. So once systems are supplied now, this has a warranty period of 5 years, or in some states it has 7 years in case of componentry. So we need to monitor the performance. The penalty clauses are also there. So performance analysis of the system can be done using this platform, and then to ensure the availability of the system. Whatever system has been supplied, that is available or not, that will be able to get the benefit. So this program has been funded through GIZ, and this is being implemented almost in 14 to 15 different states of India. So now, with this, there were certain challenges when we thought of digitizing this. Now, there are multiple manufacturers, as I mentioned, there are multiple end equipments, pump controllers, inverters, multiple energy meters. So there was, and of course, the scale was also a question. So because the scheme intends to connect 35 lakh plus solar pumps. So there was a need of an architecture that can handle such scale. It can work in low network areas. It can reduce the packet transmission size, and hence there was a need of an architecture which can handle or which can remove these challenges. And thus the architecture has been established so that it is a manufacturer independent, and MQTT protocol was chosen as this is an open ORC standard. It can work in low bandwidth area. It has a low packet size and can be easily scaled for millions of devices. So that has been designed in this platform. So now this platform is developed just for the monitoring or implementation of the scheme, but there is a need of integration with different parallel systems which are existing in ecosystem. So the state platform had to be integrated with the national platform for calculation of the CFA, calculation of the subsidy, and the record keeping of the data to whom this benefit has been passed on. So requirement of national integration was there. Third-party application integration was required. SMS gateway integration, payment gateway integration, email gateway integration. So this has the facility to have integration with that. It has the facility to integrate with the SCADA system also for real-time remote monitoring of the system. And last, what we have is the KUSUM mobile app. So mobile app has been developed considering three main stakeholders: state implementing agency, the manufacturers or the installers, I would say EPC people, and the farmers. So it has an integration with that. Then what are the benefits of this state solar energy data management platform? So first was the centralized application detail and documents. So all the beneficiaries, their records are centralized. Then the same platform has access to multiple stakeholders. As I mentioned, there are manufacturers involved, installers involved, state implementing agencies are there, ministry is there. So the single platform is being accessed by all. So it has a better coordination. Then software-based workflow. So everyone follows the workflow, and the application starts with the registration to this site survey, then order placement, installation, site verification, and the release of the subsidy. Then faster and clear allocation. So as EPCs are fighting for the orders, so It's a faster and clear allocation, who has the order for which particular farmer and all. So that is the advantage. And finally, an auto generation of joint commissioning report, project completion report against individual installation. Then another key aspect is benefit for centralization of remote monitoring data. So each solar system is equipped with a remote monitoring system. So it captures the data from pump controllers or inverters or the energy meters. Then what are the advantages of that? So tracking of the assets. So key aspect under tracking is that every remote monitoring system pushes real-time latitude and longitude of that particular location to the central system. So we can exactly know the location of that particular system, whether it has moved from that system or still at that particular location. Then we know the status of the application, that asset basically, whether that is on, it is working, or there's a failure. Then quality of supply and services. So we track the performance, how much water has been discharged, how much energy has been generated, for how many hours pump is running, how much he has imported or exported. So we know the performance of the system. So a 5 HP system should perform based on the 5 HP performance criteria. Then usage of the assets. So whether the pump is being used on how many days in total span of 365 days, that we also. So these are some sample screenshots, location and status tracking. So we can see the solar pumps with the pins red and green. Red are not connected with the server at that particular moment, and green are connected to the server. And with the satellite view, we can see the solar installation also. And if you see here, we have a pin here, and the solar panels are installed next to that. So we can see that in the vicinity only, the solar plants are installed, and we can track that particular location. Then these are some snapshots from the mobile app which has been developed. So mobile app has the facility for real-time monitoring of the solar plants. So farmer has access to it. Farmer can see his pump performance, how much he has imported, how much he has exported, whether there is fault. If there is a fault, he can raise a complaint directly from the mobile app. It would be automatically assigned to the installer, and finally it would be notified whether the complaint has been resolved or not, and finally it could be closed with the intervention of state implementing agency. And you can see the day-wise performance of his plants. Yeah, you can see the bar graph, how much he's been generating on daily basis, how much water discharge, and what are the pump running hours. Then we have a pilot project performance from JVB in Rajasthan. So a system was deployed in early 2020. In that we can see the pre-solarization result and the post-solarization result. That was for PM KUSUM components in individual pump solarization. So before solarization, the farmer was averagely consuming roughly 2144 units, and he was billed with 1930 rupees for his consumption. Post solarization in the same period. So period was same, September to January and September to January. And the average units consumed by the farmer has reduced drastically. So we have seen in other presentation also of the sky results that average consumption has reduced after solarization. So it was 1265 units, and the money he has generated with this excess generation is roughly 11,000 rupees. So with this, we can say roughly farmers are motivated for implementation of this with solarization. Then there is a potential to reduce 40% of the electricity consumption and accordingly water consumption. Further, if we have already it's a part of the mobile app that farmer can schedule his pump operation, and he can remotely on off his pump operation. With that automated operations, further reduction may be possible. Then there is one case of Ambika Devi, NP Ambika Devi. The pump is installed. The solarization was done in Kerala. So we can see the winter season performance of past 5 months, September to January. So whatever units has been generated has been exported. So today morning Vara sir said that this could be a third crop or a second crop to the farmers. So we can see for straight 5 months, whatever has been generated, entire thing has been exported by this particular farmer. That was a month. This is a daily trend. We can see how much has been, whatever has been generated on daily basis, everything has been exported by that particular farmer. So another case is K. Govindan Nair. Again, similar case. Whatever has been generated, everything has been exported by this particular farmer. So these are the two cases from Kerala state. So summary, there's a huge reduction in time and management efforts with digital tools. We can manage all the beneficiary applications, their tracking in centralized fashion with no or minimal efforts of the data entry. So we have made a lot of provisions to improve the data entry aspects. Then a common RMS to capture field devices data with geolocation and over multiple communication mediums, basically. Then use of open protocol, what we saw is the MQTT which has been chosen for scaling up the entire implementation. And last, from the case study, we can say that if we motivate the farmer with incentives or with export incentives, I would say, then water savings can be done, energy savings can be done, which was also highlighted in morning session by us.
Thank you, Sachin. We'll take questions later because the Shobhit is waiting from ministry and he has to join meeting after that. Let us hear from him and then maybe we can discuss. Right? So Shobhit, are you still online?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes. So
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, again, muted himself.
Am I audible? Prasunji?
Yes. Yes, now you are audible.
Okay.
So
Is it clear or I need to make certain changes to the mic or anything?
yes.
It is clear.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yes, please.
So Shobhit Srivastava is here with us. He is scientist D from Ministry of New Energy, and he is mainly looking after this PM KUSUM scheme. And here we have the opportunity to learn from him at ministry's point of view, like what is the different challenges and plans while executing this kind of a big scheme. Where we have both operate, grid connected, and also component that taking care of small scale solar power plants. So the learnings from the implementation part, so we say if we can share, yeah. What do you?
Yeah. So I think everybody knows about the components and all. So I will not go into those details. The PM KUSUM scheme was launched. I mean, it started in 2015-16 when we thought of bringing out a scheme for farmers or the young entrepreneurs who would want to install solar power plants, enter into solar domain. Then slowly we worked out that it is better to focus on the agriculture sector itself. So the scheme was designed in a manner so as to have different aspects of agriculture covered under the scheme. So one is irrigation that we are covering under component B, as you know. So and it is one of the oldest programs of the ministry, the solar off-grid pumps. It has been there for some time, and the people have benefited from it a lot. So then we brought into picture two new components, component A and component C. So component A was
one point here, like we have here international delegates as well, so probably they may not be aware of this scheme. So while you are explaining, probably it's share a little bit about the scheme.
Okay, I'll repeat. So the component PM KUSUM scheme consists of three components: component A, B, and C. And component A, what we are doing is we are providing support to the farmers having barren or fallow or different kind of lands which they might not be using for agriculture. They can put solar power plants on their land and then sell the power to the distribution companies. By this mechanism, they'll be able to earn a lot. So some of the projects that have been installed have shown very promising results, and the farmer really earning a good amount. I think in one of the projects, the first project that was installed in the state of Rajasthan, there the farmer is earning about 4.8 million Indian rupees per annum. So that is huge from the perspective of the earning by the on farming land. So because otherwise the normal agriculture produce is subject to a number of issues, climatic changes, weather issues. So, but in this case, in case of solar, it is very almost predictable in most of the regions of India, that you would be able to generate this much power from solar power plant, and you would get estimations of what you would get in return by selling that power. So this was huge, and it faced certain issues because this was new product, this was something a new instrument, and then it needed a sizable amount of investment. So there were issues related to financing, and as we worked on it, these issues have more or less been settled, and now we are seeing installations on field. So as we speak, there are about 90 megawatt projects which have been already installed by farmers under PM KUSUM component A, and we have allocated around 5 gigawatt capacity under this component. So this is going to be one of the major game changers in this decentralized power generation. Then coming to the second part, the component B is related to installation of standalone solar pumps. So as I said, standalone solar pumps have been there for a while. We all know it. Even the farmers in India are pretty much aware of what kind of a system it is and what they'll get in return. So this is particularly of great use in the areas where the farmers are using diesel run pumps. So as per the agriculture survey, input survey of 2016-17, there were around 1 million diesel pumps in India at that point of time. And these diesel pumps, they cost a huge. For a unit of power, it would cost somewhere around 30 rupees per kilowatt hour of power. So this was a real bottleneck in expanding the agriculture production and increasing farmers' income. So this particular component, it addresses this aspect, and under this we have already around the country we have already installed around 5 lakh. So that is 500,000 standalone solar pump in the country. So, and we have a target of 2 million pumps under PM KUSUM scheme. We already have received the demand, the equivalent demand, and this is likely to be, we are likely to get the targets by 2026, as Mr. Prasun said. So then coming to the third component, component C again is an innovative component, wherein initially we started with solarization of pumps, and it all started in Gujarat. In the state of Gujarat, they had launched, the state government had launched the scheme for solarization of individual pumps, and there onwards it scaled up, and we at the national level we have launched this component for individual pump solarization. So under this component, again, we are providing financial support to the farmers for solarizing their existing So we are not changing pumps, although they can, the state government can replace the pumps with the energy efficient pumps. The beneficiary also can replace the pump with better pumps. But our focus is on solarization. And initially we started with this individual pump solarization. We had in the first phase sanctioned, allocated around 100,000 pumps. So under this component, we allocated 100,000 pumps, but somehow the issue has been that and I think a number of participants, the government officials from other countries who are there in this today's conference would relate to it. Then when you have cheap power available, government subsidized power available for agriculture, and this has been there in India for some time. So the power for agriculture is available at very nominal prices or even free in some states, and the farmers don't. But on the other side, the problem is that to provide this cheap power, the distribution companies often resort to providing this power, which is a scarce resource, in off-peak hours. So these farmers were getting power mostly in the night hours. So there were issues related to safety and all. So under this component, the farmers can solarize their existing pumps, and they can use the pump for their own irrigation needs, supply the additional power, the surplus power, to the distribution companies and monetize it. So that way it was good. So, but coming back to the problem, the issue was that they were getting, the farmers were getting cheap power, so they were reluctant to provide their contribution. Somebody who's getting it already at a very cheaper or free would not be very enthusiastic in investing on a system. So although in certain parts of the country it is still depending on the price of power, it is still a viable business or the system. So we have not done away with, but we launched a third or rather a fourth component, a sub-component under this solarization thing, the feeder level solarization. So here what we did, that instead of solarizing each and every individual pumps, going for a very small capacity plants, we started solarizing the feeders, the agricultural feeders, which might have altogether 100 or 200 pumps connected to it. So instead of installing solar power plant near every pumps, now you have a solar power plant at the substation from where the feeders are emanating, and there you get the feeders solarized. So the farmer is virtually unaffected, or rather affected in only the positive way, that he is getting a reliable daytime power, but he doesn't want to have to contribute any on the finances. You don't need to contribute any money to get this change, getting power, that daytime reliable power. So that ways it has been really a successful component, and we have said that the state distribution companies, which are the main player in this feeder solarization thing, they can solarize either in the capex mode, where the state government invests the balance amount apart from the MNRE assistance, the central government assistance, or they can do a RESCO tender. RESCO, I think you must be aware, renewable energy supply company. So instead of getting an EPC, giving an EPC contract, they gave a service contract wherein the company assures to provide certain number of units at the contracted price. So that ways, a number of states have now come up, and there's a huge demand. We have recently reached the targets under the scheme in terms of allocation, and we have allocated 2.5 million pumps under feeder solarization, around 2.5. So a small amount is of individual pump solarization, about 100,000 pumps, and then we have more than 2.4 million pumps under feeder solarization. So the interest has been huge, and we are very hopeful that this will lend really good results, particularly for the tropical countries, the middle income countries, where agriculture is still one of the major occupations for the farmers, and the land sizes are small. So I think this is a overall picture of PM KUSUM that we have. Now, if you have if you want to discuss anything, we can, have questions, or how it has been designed. Prasunji, you can take it forward.
Sure. Thank you, Shobhit Singh. Do you have any questions to ask Shobhit? Yeah. So I will start with a question like while we starting that scheme, so probably you have set some targets for all three components A, B, and C, and while you are relating to the implementing the scheme, so probably there are so many challenges, and probably in that case, like how flexible it is, like you can change the numbers within the components, whether it is there in the scheme or like the numbers are target as fixed.
Okay, so initially we started with the target of 10 gigawatt under component A, and under component A we do not have a very sort of a direct subsidy to the installer. So we are providing procurement based incentive to the distribution companies. So as to bridge that gap of the power procurement prices in large solar plants and these decentralized solar plants. So we started with 10 gigawatt target under component A, then 2 million pumps under component B, and 1.5 million pumps under component C for solarization. So then, as I said, we had, observed that there were during the mid course where the COVID was also prevalent in the country. There we found the demand for component B was not forthcoming because of crunches in individual as well as government finances. So we decided, or we requested the government to allow us to, within the same financial support, to allow us to change the quantities between the components, so that we can cater to the immediate demand if a high demand is coming in under component C, and at that point of time there's less demand under component B, so that we can use and transfer some allocations from component B to component C. So that way it gives flexibility, but that doesn't mean that the component B has not been the demand has not been under component B or maybe under component A. The point was to have greater flexibility, and as I said, we have already received demand equivalent to the targets that was initially launched with the initially issued with the launch of scheme. So that flexibility we have, but otherwise the all three components have started picking up now. So under component A, as I said, we already have 90 megawatt projects installed and running, and under component C we have a huge demand wherein we have already allocated 2.5 million pumps. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you, Shobhit Singh. And the next question, what I have, like just before you speak, like we have the presentation on the monitoring of KUSUM portal. So it would be great to know from ministry point of view, like how much this kind of portal help while implementing this kind of scheme with so many stakeholders in place while implementing, be it agriculture departments, state nodal agencies, also the installers, the employee agencies, and so many different kind of, and sometimes state also giving some kind of more subsidies and all. So many dynamics are there in the, even though the design at central level, but once we have seen this process, so there are lots of dynamics in the system. So how this kind of portal is being used, or what kind of benefit you are getting out of this kind of portal?
Yeah, so this is a very, I think you might have got a glimpse of what this monitoring system is about, and Sachin will continue after this. I mean, discussion, this presentation, he'll continue. So this is a very sophisticated monitoring system. As you said, there are a number of stakeholders who are involved. So once you have a very high number of actors in a system, then you need a very well-defined rules and a automated system so that you can run the thing without, I mean, one efficiently, and then without inviting troubles and getting inconsistencies in the whole system. So with that in mind, we started this in 2019 with the launch of scheme. This initially the central portal was developed, and state portal was developed in the for 2 states. Thereafter, this was expanded, and right now it is for about 14 or 15 states. It's already there. So yes, we faced a number of issues because there were during the development of the portals, because you need to coordinate with the states on allocation of resources, like servers, then licenses, software licenses are there. Then you have to have as far as possible a common structure of the system. You can have customizations to a certain extent, but the structure should be almost uniform in all the cases, so that it works efficiently and it feeds the required inputs to the central portal. So definitely there were issues initially, but now most of the things have been ironed out, and this in 6 to 7 states, or rather more than that, it is already running perfectly. Once we have the portal in place, now we are getting to understand what kind of issue there once you get the system installed and then it starts running. So there are a number of challenges in field. So now we are getting, I mean, sort of acquainted with those challenges. So we'll have to find the solutions which earlier in the normal system, in the manual system, we would not have faced, but we would have, I mean, lost an opportunity to make the system more efficient. Secondly, when you have an online system with IoT attributes, you have where the machine to machine interaction is possible. You allow a very large degree of automation. So as Sachin said, that the farmer can operate the system remotely. They can even schedule the irrigation when the pumps needs to be put on based on the crops they are growing. And as we go forward and we have this very good quality, good volume of data that it is generating, in future we might use this data to refine the system. That is one thing, and maybe use the advanced tools like artificial intelligence to program the system in a way that it senses it gets the data inputs from the sensors, and it automatically run the pump in an optimized way so as to limit the water consumption to the level that is important or necessary for crops, and avoid any over exploitation. So those kind of things would be possible once we have this system. So I think this is a platform wherein you can stack a number of smart systems. This is a platform on which you can stack a number of things going forward. So this is definitely going to help us immensely, and I think we'll be seeing this the advanced usages in the coming years. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shobhit. Do you have further questions? Because yeah, please.
Sir, I would like to find out how do you handle the issues of data protection? So,
Data protection, you mean?
like there are certain stakeholders, information which you receive from there. How do you handle it in terms of disclosing to third parties and so forth? During the course of-
Okay, so this is we have made sure we have a very stringent cyber security and data sharing guidelines in place in the country. So we are following those guidelines, and we are allowing only direct interaction between the servers at the state government portal to the servers at the central government portal. So there is the transcription or the communication between the servers is completely protected as per the latest security guidelines of the country. So I don't think this is going to, I mean, we have any sort of a gap or wherein there might be leakages, the information goes to a third party. That is, as of now, it is not possible based on our understanding. And we would upgrade as we go forward based on the developments or improvements in that data protection and the cyber security. Yeah.
Shobhit ji, thanks for your presentation. I am Nitin Basi. I work with CEW. Shobhit ji, I wanted one clarification. Under component C, I mean, now we are also going ahead with this a model following the solarization of feeders itself. Now, what it has done, like if I check the dashboard, it mentions that around I think close to 2 million pumps would be also covered through solarization. Well, that is the sanction target. I just wanted to know, like under component C, the initial target was 1.5 million pumps. So now with the solarization of feeder, we have already increased it to 2 million. So is it a separate thing or it will be counted within the component C itself?
Yeah. So see, what we have done is that, or what is done in the government's, generally the government scheme, you cannot you cannot, I mean, go over the financial approvals that you have. So we have an approved central financial support of around 34,000 crores. So we cannot go over that. But what we have done is we have secured an approval that within that we can increase the allocations based on the opportunity that is available because of the reduction in prices, or when we switch from one component, one sub-component and a component C to other sub-components. So when we are solarizing through the individual pumps, so there the costs are really high. One is that the plant size is very small, and as you go to the higher sizes, you would definitely save on that money. The other thing is you have under individual pump solarization, we were allowing additional PV capacity. So under feeder solarization, there's no provision of additional, because the DISCOM is installing these pumps and they have to meet the agriculture demand that is there on that feeder. So it goes in a manner wherein they have to estimate the project capacity by working out what was the agriculture consumption in last, say, 2 to 3 years, and based on that consumption and the CUF that is estimated to be available at that location, they can work out the solar capacity that can feed those number of units. So that ways feeder solarization is much cheaper than the individual pump solarization. So this gave us room wherein we expanded targets, and now instead of those 1.5 millions that we had, 1.5 million target number of pumps that we had initially, we have already allocated 2.5 million. Okay.
Thanks.
That's clear.
And I hope there is no questions from the group. So thank you, Shobhit ji, for joining out of your very busy schedule, and thank you once again.
Thank you all, and I wish a fruitful discussion. I hope this will be really useful for all the participants. And we are open to queries if you might have. So you can directly, Prasunji can share my email. And if you want to interact more on these aspects, we are open to those queries and communications. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. We're running out of time, so we have one presentation there and then Q&A and moderation session also, and we don't have much time. So what we can do is I'll just take 5 to 10 minutes on my presentation, and then probably we can go to moderation session where we can also have the Q&A, because probably at 4 we have to close, because at 4:30 again we have finalization of the block day. So now before lunch, actually, in 101 we are discussing on one common thing like be it Africa, be it Asia, the utilization of pumps. Like even though it is an high expensive component, but utilization is really poor. So we are discussing how we can enhance the so SIP, solar irrigation pump set, and we are not only looking at the pump, but also we should look at the modules, like how much energy is generated and how maximize we can see the utilization of the pump. So with that, like we have one solution that is called USPC, Universal Solar Pump Controller. So we'll just discuss what it can do and what experience we have in India. So as it says, like USPC is nothing but a replacement of the normal controller. In normal controller, what happens is you have one input and one output. So it can only run the pump. So what USPC can do is like can connect it to many other applications. As it is shown in the diagram, like solar refrigerators or cold storage, a bulk chiller, solar tracker, battery bank, and you can see many other things. So it should be only electrically compatible. It can be three phase, it can be single phase, but as of now, in the ministry, what we have guideline is only three phase. As I said, this USPC is really a part of the PM KUSUM scheme. So while it was first introduced in 2019, so that time itself USPC was a part of, but of course it is a separate entity from pump. But in the next tender, ministry made like it should be two different things, like pump with USPC, pump without USPC. So entire amount should be like vendor has to come up with that number. So that's how like we understand the importance of USPC. And the right side also you can see the statistics, that what we have done in 4 different states, like how much utilization we have and what amount of excess energy is still available over here. In some states like Odisha and all, UP and all, so we have only 30 to 40 days utilization of pumps. So out of 365 days, on 30 to 40 days people are utilizing. So like 300 days managed. So how much we can like this. And those areas actually are energy deprived states. So definitely we can have better utilization. For that, we should know like what is it uses and how farmers can get benefited out of it technically or financially. I will just show you some case studies, and then we have done one survey and what learnings we had from the survey that we would like to share. So here the case one is basically to have utilization of this solar pump for other shakti machine within the same USPC. So apart from solar water pump, they are also running other shakti machines. Next slide, please. So he is the farmer, and he initially want to have the other shakti machine for wheat milling. It is in Rajasthan. And he has installed this 3 HP USPC and then 3 HP Atashakti machine. So it is all matching. The only thing matching thing is like your the motor capacity should not be more than the USPC, no, then of course it will not run. But if it is less than that, so you can run any kind of an electrical appliances. Of course, he has got some financial subsidy because issue is, the cost of USPC is little bit higher than normal subsidy. And based on this request, so MNRE have again come up with another benchmark, normal subsidy benchmark for normal controllers and benchmark for USPCs. And we have seen some differences on that. But of course, subsidy is not kind of equally given to USPC as of now. But on time, probably again this thing also may change, or like economy of scale will be there. So cost of USPC also come down and to be compatible with USPC in terms of cost. Application, of course, it is much better than a normal controller. Next slide, please. Yeah. Second case is to use this USPC for shredder machines. This gentleman in Karnataka, so what he had actually a big areas and put a manuring kind of a thing. So he has to cut wood, then you have to make it small pieces that convert it to manure. But the conventional way actually it takes him like 2 years of time, and also it is taking lots of space for him. So what he used, okay, the next slide. He has gone with this USPC. Of course, as you can see, he has installed 6.5 kilowatts of solar panel. So this kind of customization also we have done, which actually now we can see in the national scheme. Of course, national scheme is very difficult to customize in a big way, but he has got a grant from other entities, and he has gone up to the higher capacity of solar panels, and he is using this for a shredder machine, and also he is used for spraying machines as well. So same USPC he uses for his pump, he uses for his agriculture shredder machine, and he is using for battery member that he can use for other applications as well. And now he is planning to buy a coffee roaster machine. So same USPC can give him options of different kind of how much energy he is saving. So utilizing that. So there in that case, like it would be not 30% utilization, it may go up to like 80 to 90% kind of an that's how, because the entire KUSUM scheme, as Shobhit also saying, it is a subsidy driven scheme, like 60% minimum subsidy is going together from state and central. In some states is up to 97% also. So that much of amount we are giving and utilization is so less. So people definitely should, and also 10% into that is in general is his own investment loan. So if we can give this kind of an opportunity to him, so like benefits are both ways, he can get energy, he can as a community level also, he can also give it an water as a service model also, he can use it. So the different applications he can go for. Next slide, please. Second, yeah. So in this case, he is using for fertilizer spraying machine. Next, please. So I'll just skip this thing because we don't have much time. So application is same, but this machine, and here he is using it for an flower pot out of cow dung. In Rajasthan, so he is using it for like cow dung flower pot making machine, cow dung powder machine, then cow dung mixer machine. There's so many different mixer machine machines available, which cow dung actually can be used and run for different applications. So all the machines actually he is running through this USPC with the power coming from the solar module, which is actually intended to benefit the solar farms. Next, please. Yeah. Coming back to survey insight, so we have seen already like how much it can be beneficial and what are different options available now. But there are other side into it. What are that? We have done the survey. So USPC is a new concept, and we don't have much of its installation from India. And now with different innovation, interest from different states, numbers are increasing. So this is the first of a state scheme in Himachal Pradesh where they have installed around 100 USPC. So we have done a survey around 54 USPC users. And out of that, you can see only one person has used for additional application, that's automated, and others are not utilizing. And when we analyze the result, you can see in the right side, incorrect targeting of farmers. While what this kind of schemes are there. So in this scheme, up to 90% subsidy were given, and in this community based, it is up to 100%. So there it is 90% subsidy is given, and their targeting is like he doesn't have any requirement for that kind of an application. He doesn't have any additional appliances, like you don't have any motor to run, but he has USPC. So he is happy with the pump, but he doesn't have anything. So the other thing is like some places already it is grid connected, so he is getting already grid. So why he is going for USPCs? In some locations, they don't know actually that it can be used. So that is another point, like to a scheme, if you are doing something, so you should utmost responsibility, like you should tell them that why this USPC can be used and what how they can get benefited. And if the users don't know, so it is a loss to the nation only. The other thing is the single use. So as of now, to this project, they have given connection to 3-phase, and mostly they have a single phase equipment in place, and even when you're replacing the motors and all. So when you have to replace single phase motors, so those kind of support is locally available, but it's a 3-phase kind of a thing. So he has to go much like he has to go to the cities, and also that itself take like a cost for him. So they are mostly interested in the single phase equipments only. So those are a few reasons where people, through our study, we found like even though they got the USPC through subsidy, they were not utilizing for any other applications. But this is not a PM KUSUM subsidy. This is Himachal Pradesh state subsidy. After that, PM KUSUM has come, and also now Rajasthan also they have a state scheme running where they are replacing 5-year-old mobile controller with USPCs. So their target is around 40,000, and first batch of around 10,000 already being selected, and works are on. So these are our overarching observation. The key issues. So key issues, why this kind of some of the bottlenecks also you can say, like the rationalization of USPC specification. So as of now, for normal controller there is not much specific kind of numbers are there, but for USPC it is a very stringent number. You can see 3-4 page documents there, and it is difficult. And also while you have to go for testing, so you have to come up with your own equipments, like what equipment you are going to use. So that way, like if you're having different applications, so how many equipments you have to bring into the labs and do the testing. So that standardization process is missing as of now, and ministry is working to that. So probably that will also help streamlining things. Then, as I said already, the single phase kind of thing, so for non-compatibility part is there. So if you have single phase, also you can give separately users, we can see more numbers. Improper targeting, I have touched upon already. Limited awareness, some people already have that in place, but still they don't know what it can do. Some people know it, but they don't have applications in place, and some say we can do it, but we are looking for some kind of subsidy for the components also. For agriculture equipment also, some people are getting subsidies. So that is another way of like convergence, like you are taking subsidy from PM KUSUM for the pump. If you are taking also subsidy for the equipment, so if you convert this different kind of schemes, so probably that will also increase the uptake and utilizability of the pumps. That's all the points. Next slide, please. And these are some key takeaways. I think already I have touched upon all the parts here. Yes. Only thing is like pilot demonstration is there, and only one more point we have proposed to ministry is like we can have some kind of virtual reality kind of equipment where we can design like the farmer can directly come to Kisan Melas and directly they can see it and feel it through some goggles. So that definitely would give more interest to hear have hand-on feelings and also know the application benefits of it. So that is one of the proposed solution, apart from the other awareness schemes, be it your online, offline, or pamphlets, other things, yeah. So this is the learnings what we have. Any questions, or else we can go to moderation part, because we don't have much time again. Any questions, please? Any questions? Or maybe these are moderation.
Yeah, sure.
So I like Mr. Lakshman, Mire, and yes. Mr. Martin from Paul, if you were also here. And so actually, we said we planned for hired experts, but we have now just 2 3 now. Because with also like he has shared of course his points, but he has to go other meeting, and Mr. Bala is in the other plenary group, so he probably not joining us. So here we have Mr. Lakshman Mire. So he is from Nepal, Alternate Energy Promotion Center, Nepal, and Mr. Abdullah Matin from Itpal, Bangladesh. So since we are talking on this session about the monitoring of any kind of a scheme and all, so let us discuss this session also through the monitoring part itself. So we'd like to know both from Nepal and Bangladesh, like you have your national schemes in place, probably most in the off-grid part. Now probably you're thinking of on-grid side. So what is your plans in shifting from off-grid to on-grid, and what challenges you're facing, and how you are doing the monitoring part? So if you can have some kind of reflection out of on that. So what do you? That's one.
Thank you. So for the context of Nepal, so we basically focusing on the off-grid type of solarise systems. So while we design the system from the beginning stage, most of the sites that from our technical person or engineers must be visited at the time of once they complete the installation from the company side, then we must visit over there in order to verify the technical quality assurance. We call it testing and commissioning. And then we will get back to some sort of information. Those information and the data need to be digitized in our systems. And then what we have doing then after is, then we have some 2 years of company or vendor warranty systems. So after 2 years also we go for the installation after warranty period, and then also we get back some information and then we'll run a kind of digitization over there. But in the meantime, within 2 periods, there could be some issues or concern raised from the farmers there at that time also. Monitoring is also there. So this kind of physical monitoring is in place for the off-grid system. At the same time, there are some companies, and then there is some one innovation grant from IMI. They are trying to have it kind of digitizing platform so that we can bring in all the systems data, integrated system data to the APC portal so that we can monitor from the center level. So what I'm thinking is one time for the product is in order to verify the product specification, quality assurance, and in order to assure the system in the technical matters, we must visit in a physical way. After that, for the operation kind of daily discharge, kind of radiation, although so many parameters should be monitored through the online digitized system. So we are developing, we are on that way. At the same time, recently there is one program in Nepal that's conducted by with the support of GIZ. Then GIZ is also working in the kind of to make it a digital platform for the solar irrigation. We are working on that. At the same time, some private companies with the support of the IWMI as well. They are also developing some monitoring tool. So up to now, we basically rely on the physical monitoring, but we are directing to the digitization of also kind of digital monitoring systems. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, we have Bangladesh also the experience, but I'm asking mostly you are on the community based, no? Not small system, it's like a big system and
Right.
many users one system.
Right. Most of our almost every pump is on the higher capacity. We actually started solar irrigation system back in 2011. While at that point of time, we had a bit smaller capacity pumps, but it was around 5.5 kilowatt. And later on, with the upscale of the solar irrigation systems, it's now around 40 kilowatt solar photovoltaic, around with 22 kilowatt pumping system. So basically, our system is basically selling of water. So we actually provide financing to a private sector. So the private sector actually operates those solar irrigation pumps for a longer period of time and provides cheaper water to the farmers or the community or group of farmers. So basically, to actually keep the pump running throughout this tenure of the financing, because the loan tenure is around 10 years, so the system has to be operated till 10 years. So during this 10 years of operation, what we have a different two different tier of monitoring. The first one is monitoring from our internal resources. We have different 17 field officers spread all throughout the country, and specifically to the nearby locations of where the cluster-based irrigations are there. And the second tier is actually monitored by the private sector employees. So basically, the first tier of monitoring is done by the private sector employees, while the second tier monitoring is done by it called staffs. Now the question is what sort of data or what sort of parameters that we monitor. So we monitor during the installation phase, during the acceptance test, and as well as during the operation. And the parameters that we cover is not only the technological aspect or the technical performance, but also the practical performance of the system in terms of collection, water discharge, then area coverage, then revenue collection as well, because that actually dictates how good the system is working as well as how good the project is working as a for large scale up. Apart from that, we are also now thinking to actually, since we have a target for large scale upscaling, as well as the government in terms of their NDC targets, as well as different targets set by the Prime Minister. So solar irrigation pump is going to be scaled up. So with the large scale, we are now thinking of actually, as he said, we are also thinking of going into the online monitoring system, where we are planning to actually install remote monitoring systems for each of the next pumps, as well as all those systems clustered together to actually have a better outlook on the performance, as well as the field collections and the coverage, everything. And as a pilot, we are since we already got 9 pumps funding from IWMI in terms of online monitoring as well. So as a pilot, we are doing this 9 pumps to actually understand how what sort of components should be incorporated and what should be left over to actually and then realize the importance of it, and then we will design and accordingly we replicate it in the next projects that we are going to install.
So this is operate pumps as of now. What you're talking
As of
about?
now, upgrade, yes, but gradually, not all the pumps we are thinking that will be connected to the grid. But the suitable pumps where it's financially viable will be connected to the grid. And at that point of time, there will be online monitoring as well, regardless of offline, off-grid or on.
So I think you had initially some questions, no? And then probably I'll give back to him.
You are representing SPAP, right? So I have visited 25 out of 44 farmers of Sky out of 93. And out of those 44 feeders, in around 25 feeders, I have found that the overflow devices are bypassed. through HCAP. So what is main the technical reason behind that and what is the possible solution for that? Because if it is bypass, then it is of no use. The farmers, non-sky farmers who must be getting 8 hours of electricity, they are also getting 12 hours. So what is the main reason behind it? Why they need to be bypassed?
That
Can you
need to
explain
be,
what you mean by bypass?
Actually, watchdog devices are designed so that the non-sky farmers should get only 8 hours of electricity, and the sky farmers must get 12 hours of electricity. So whatever those particular devices are installed on the transformers, particular transformers, and they work like that. After 8 hours of electricity, the supply must cut down. But those particular devices are not working. In around 25 out of 44 feeders, around 25 feeders, they are not working. They are not active.
Meaning that the non-sky farmers on that same feeder will also get.
Also getting the 12 hours of electricity. Yes. In majority of the feeders, this issue is there.
maybe that need to check with local DISCOM officials, like why they are not utilizing that, how this has been bypassed.
Because it is in the scope of HRP, the local your staff members are regulating those particular devices. So they need to install it on transformers. So they are telling that the transformers are getting heated, and that is why it's not feasible to install there. But that is not the reason, I guess. That should not be there.
Maybe this needs to be checked with the local DISCOM team actually. I mean, they should collaborate with that. Not really sure of this.
How they are getting like 12 hours, I didn't understand. Is this because of evacuation that it gets supplied or the electricity is?
Actually, the transformers are same, right? Yeah, the transformers. The transformers for non-sky farmers are actually installed with these watchdog devices are installed on the particular transformers of those particular farmers who are not involved in the sky.
So you mean that the sky, suppose if they are not using solar, so they will get 12 hours of electricity, the next 12 hours of.
They are getting.
They are getting.
According to the norms, they must get 8 hours, but they are getting 12 hours because of this bypassing of this device. This watchdog transformers, these watchdog devices are not working.
In fact, it's not that there's a technical problem, they are not working. Somebody may be interfering with them, some manual,
Yeah, that is possible that farmers may be doing by themselves, but wherever I have gone, the HKRP officials said that this is due to some technical reasons we are not able to install those on transformers. That must not be the reason. They are designed in such a way, they are designed for that purpose that the electricity supply should cut down in 8 hours. But in majority of the feeders, they are not working.
So my doubt here, maybe Sachin can explain that. So HKRP designing monitoring portal for Sky scheme.
As well as HKRP has also supplied this watchdog device.
Okay. So you had some questions, right?
Yeah. It might be a little bit naive from a technical point of view, but about the universal transformer who presented actually. The logic is very clear. Like the more freedom you provide the farmer to make use of the solar electricity, the higher the utilization will be. My question is, why even limit it to those specific kinds of appliances? Why can the solar panels that come with the pump be made to designed to be able to support any kind of electricity use that the farmer chooses?
So this is just an examples we have given, but MNRE have given guidelines, but this USPC can connect to any kind of applications. For example, I saw you cow dung powder machine. So this is not part of the guidelines, but they are still using it, right?
Right. So technically, there's actually no limitation involved at all.
Only the compatibility part you have to see. When you come to induction motor, that PhD you have to see, the voltage frequency you have to see, right? So it is matching, and also the capacity of your motor and capacity of your USPC, that should also be matching. Like you cannot run any motor of 5 HP with 3 HP USPC. So that compatibility you have to match, else like you can do.
Yeah, so without knowing anything about the technicality, that I would think it's obviously this should be part of any kind of.
Yes.
It seems so logical.
Yes.
But those machines will have to be the same.
Not compulsorily, like if you, that is the issue we have faced for that particular survey. They say that we have even if we are connected to our residential load or Atasakti machine at home, so we have to use a long cables. So laying down cables is technically possible, but again you have to see the economic part of it, like running like an your 100-meter, how much additional cost is already trying for the money, additional money on the USPC, again pump, and now additional cables. So that part we have to see, but technically it is possible.
Actually, related to that, can I also ask, why does the pump, again, asking economists asking questions with the naive understanding of engineering, why does the pump need to be attached to the panel? Can it not be made? Because if I was able to take the pump, I don't know, 200, 300 meters away, the ability to irrigate many other fields would be improved.
There is no hard and fast rule like it should be connected to each other, but again you have to see the DC losses and AC losses, right? So it is more optimum to you accordingly you have to design. And also cost of DC cables, cost of AC cables, that part also.
And as the distance increase, the size of the cable needs to be like.
Exactly. So maybe final questions because you already late. Any other questions?
I have one.
Please.
So, we briefly discussed that about also over lunch, but like in Nepal's scenario, we have this smaller pumps, 1 HP, 2 HP pumps. And like EPC would like to install the remote monitoring system for like to monitor like 2,000 to 2,500 systems. But the problem for us is like the cost of remote monitoring units. If it costs like 5% of the cost of the entire system, the farmer will not be able to afford that. So, like, is there any way to probably bring the cost down for a smaller system, just to pay minimum remote monitoring units to provide just a pump on-off status or like those sort of things. So we discussed briefly, but like still the cost that you said is still a bit higher side.
What we discussed was related to grid connectors. If we talk of off-grid system, the cost would be much below that.
And again, when you are saying about RMS, so which part of RMS you are saying? One is the hardware of the ground level, and another is the software level. So server failures, platform will be stored.
As an end user, we need like the data from the field and like funding and backing.
For like PM KUSUM scheme, the hardware cost is already part of the entire system, including 5-year warranty. But the software part and the server part that will be taken care of by state departments, and where they are also getting like 2% service charge from the system from the CFA itself. Yes, probably with that we have to close it. I apologize, like we have to make it very short and because we lost some time in the beginning, and yeah. Thank you, Mr. Lakshman and Nabil. And thank you all for your active participation. Thank you. Maybe we can now meet you in the plenary session.